when I think about Reggie Bush and telling the story of college football during the 2000s, one of the things that was really disappointing about this whole Heisman Trophy taken away from Reggie Bush was that you cannot tell the story of college football in the mid 2000s without talking about Reggie Bush as a true like superstar. We didn't have social media, so you couldn't say that something went viral. But I'll tell you what, like little video clips of Reggie Bush were getting sent on listservs and, the FW colon, FW colon, FW colon. Check out these insane highlights. I mean, this was a generational talent. And we find out here on Wednesday morning, the Heisman Trust let's see, what are we going to say? We are a historic reinstatement of the 2005 Heisman Memorial Trophy to Reggie Bush. This from Michael Comerford, the president of the Trust. We are thrilled to welcome Reggie Bush back to the Heisman family in recognition of his college accomplishments. We considered the enormous changes in college athletics over the last several years in deciding that now is the right time to reinstate the trophy for Reggie. We are so happy to welcome him back. Tom, what'd you think about the news coming out that Reggie's getting his Heisman back? He'll be back at the ceremony. And I'm sure that the Heisman House commercials are writing themselves right now in terms of him getting his keys back.
It's about damn time, because it really never should have been taken from him to begin with. But I get it, why they did it, and it's their choice to do so. But it took way too long for common sense to kind of return to that and give it back. But I'm happy he has it. There's a part of me that wonders, and this is dark.
Okay.
There's a part of me that wonders if O.J. Simpson's death played a role in this, because O.J. Simpson died, last week? And he was in the news, and we all know what O.J. Simpson was accused of and what he went to trial for and all this stuff, and he even went to prison for other crimes. Never had his Heisman taken away. But Reggie Bush had his Heisman taken away. So O.J. Simpson coming back in the news, and the fact that, oh, hey, that guy still has his Heisman. Why doesn't Reggie Bush have his? Maybe if that kind of pushed things a little bit more.
Do you remember that the Heisman Trophy Trust was one of the few? They released a condolences tweet. Mm-hmm. I don't think I saw one from USC. I don't think I saw one from the Buffalo Bills.
No.
And I did see a response to the tweet. Now, if you want to just do one more dark joke, okay, all right. Well, we've got a minimum of how many living running backs from USC we can have at one time. Oh no, we need to meet our quota. You can just continue to add from there. Bud, what'd you make of the developments on Wednesday for Reggie and the Heisman Trust in general?
I mean, I thought Johnny Manziel was right. We have a short out on our YouTube channel saying that he was right. I think the Heisman, honestly, is kind of struggling to remain relevant in some cases. I'm not a voter. I still think it's a cool award, but I don't know if the next generation of folks really care. So doing anything you can to be like, hey, we righted a wrong. We are keeping up with the ever-changing sport of college football is probably just smart. And I agree. Like, if you put out tweets like that about OJ, and yet you're still banning Reggie,
doesn't add up.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I want to reiterate this. I am mostly happy for Reggie.
Yes.
It's cool every December when all the Heisman winners get to go hang out together. I mean, that is an amazing room that tells the history of college football. And that's sort of the other part of this is I love college football, and I think it's a disservice if somebody comes parachuting in. I mean, we know people who didn't love college football and they pick it up at 16, 17, 18 years old, or they're picking it up recently and they're spending time just trying to learn about the history of the sport. And I think it's very important that we don't put any asterisks or anything else. Reggie Bush was, in the definition of the Heisman Trophy, the most outstanding player in college football. And it was outstanding to watch what he could do on the field. So I'm fired up for Reggie, and I think that college football in general is going to be better off, maybe not today, but like 5-10 years down the line, once people are starting to learn about the mid 2000s, that there's no sort of star or anything special on this one.
I also yes, I am happy for Reggie. I obviously put out the video. I thought he should get his Heisman back, but there are certainly guys who were wronged by the system, like much more than Reggie was, like Maurice Claret, who was ineligible, shortly thereafter. What happened with him, right? there's a lot of guys out there who we can name that. I mean, Reggie played in the NFL. Dude does super well. Now he works for.
Oh, you mean like impermissible benefits? Like if we're to extend this conversation out, like there's a lot of people whose livelihoods got wrecked for a similar or even lesser NCAA offense that did not end up like Reggie.
Completely, yeah.
Got it.
What are the odds that Reggie shows up to Big Noon kickoff in week 0 or week 1 next year with the Heisman just on the desk?
I mean, the first time that they have USC on Big Noon, they've got to have it.
I would just have it with me for whatever their week 0 game is. I would just have it sitting there for the first Big Noon kickoff, just on the desk in front of me the entire time.
There have been some bubbling to this, by the way. You mentioned the OJ thing at the beginning. It was in August that USC as a school reinstated Reggie into its Hall of Fame and was like, all right, we're not doing any more of this disassociation crap that sometimes happens when schools have to swear off a star player like they never knew the guy. We've seen the similar thing happen at Michigan over the last, 5 to 10 years for men's basketball, where, after disassociating themselves from the Fab Five, it's like, no, like these guys are a huge part of the reason why Michigan fans love Michigan basketball. So that happened last August, I believe. Also, I think in November, December, 24/7 Sports, Brandon Marcello had that story. Reggie wants his Heisman back.
Yep.
There were some murmurs about potential legal action that Bush could take against the Heisman Trust. So, yeah, a lot of things built to this point, I think, over the last 8 to 10 months, and now we've gotten here on Wednesday with the Heisman Trophy for Reggie Bush.
All right, while we are righting wrongs, Bobby Bowden lost his wins, which cost me all-time wins record due to a music class, which like other students took as well. And they didn't take away Joe Paterno's wins for what he allowed at his program. So
they didn't?
Didn't he get them back?
They vacated him.
And Bowden hadn't got his wins back. So like, I'd be a lot more comfortable if the all-time wins leader in the sport was not Joe Paterno.
I don't know. I mean, Florida State would have just sat those games out anyway.
They would have opted out.
Yeah, that's Florida State opted out of those wins.
That's a great call, because regular students do it too. Is an excuse that many schools in NCAA trouble have gotten away with.
I know, like vacating wins has always been the absolute dumbest punishment out there. I think College Football Reference still keeps them like track of even the vacated wins on the all-time records. That's what I use for my official record book.
Oh yeah, there's a couple of coaches where my normal Wikipedia scan gets messed up. Hugh Freeze is one of them. You go try to pull Hugh Freeze, and then you're like, oh wait, hold on, wait a second, because they keep all the losses.
3-0 that year.
Yeah. And why do you not vacate the losses too?
Yeah,
you have to wear the L's and you lose all the W's. Makes no sense. So yes, Reggie Bush gets his Heisman Trophy back. That was breaking news this morning. Jumped on CBS Sports HQ to talk about it just a little bit. If you're multi-screening right now, that's how I'm in 2 places at once.